Hey y'all, I'm Christian Bassnight and welcome to Christian's Court, where I cover tennis from all angles. Top seeds Jannik and Carlos Alcaraz are out of the 2024 Madrid Open, guaranteeing us a new Masters 1000 champion for this year. Alcaraz was hoping to become the first man in history to complete the hat trick in the Spanish capital, as he was the two-time defending champion. However, the Spaniard's 14-match win streak in Madrid and I think 24-match win streak and Spain overall, as he was Barcelona champion, I think for 2 years running, was snapped on Wednesday afternoon as Andrey Rublev stunned the Spaniard with an impressive 4-6, 6-3, 6-2 victory. This one shouldn't be a total shock considering that Rublev is a top 10 player and Alcaraz was just returning after sitting out Monte Carlo and the Barcelona Open due to a right forearm injury. However, Rublev was very low on confidence heading into this match or into this tournament, as he came to Madrid on a 4-match losing streak. Andrey, though, proved why he reigned supreme in Monte Carlo last year, recovering from that opening set loss to really take it to the second seed. As Andrey said himself after the match, the serve was his big deciding factor in this one. He had a high first serve percentage at 74% first serves in, and he backed it up with big, heavy ground strokes that even overpowered Alcaraz oftentimes, pushing him really far deep behind the baseline. That translated to an outstanding 80% first serve win percentage. This is one of the best matches that Andrey's played in his entire career, thumping 30 winners to just 21 unforced errors. Alcaraz, meanwhile, managed 21 winners to 25 unforced. Carlitos, though, is pretty optimistic about the loss, saying that he and his team didn't even expect a quarterfinal showing here, and that this loss was a good result considering the circumstances with his forearm. He says he hopes that it'll get better before next week's Italian Open, which would be his second ever appearance in the Foro Italico. I'm not really worried at all about Carlos form-wise. I think he'll eventually peak well enough for Roland Garros, where I think he'll currently is the title favorite. Odds make his favorite, but also for me, I just have that feeling that this year will be the year that he wins Roland Garros for the first time. But that's another point. That's for another video. Carlos also had that epic match, 4th round match against Jan-Lennart Struff the previous day that went 3+ hours, so that could have definitely played a role in this one too. The Spaniard also said that he has not been at 100% physically or game-wise still, and says that he is not able to really go after that forehand and serve as much as he would have liked to due to that right forearm injury that he's still recovering from. That issue would definitely be something to look out for in the coming weeks, and I hope that eventually he will be at 100% by the time that Paris rolls around. Meanwhile, focusing back on Rublev, this is his biggest win rankings-wise since the 2022 ATP Finals, where he defeated the then world number 3 Stefanos Tsitsipas. Also, crazy statistic, but Andrey is now a perfect 13-0 against Spanish players on clay, which is unbelievable and just shows you how good he is on the dirt. Rublev will look to reach his 5th Masters 1000 final when he takes on American Taylor Fritz in the semifinal. Fritz earned his 250th ATP win after upending Federico Cerundolo 6-1, 3-6, 6-3. Taylor leads the head-to-head with Andrey 5-3, although the Russian won their last meeting, which was on clay, which also happened to be a 1000 semifinal back in Monte Carlo last year. In the top half of the men's draw, number 1 seed Jannik withdrew from the tournament ahead of his quarterfinal match against Felix Auger-Aliassime, which would have been played tomorrow, as he cited a right hip injury. Sinner first showed signs of discomfort during his 3rd round match against Pavel Kotov, and after that match he said that the hip problem was more of an overuse injury from training and shouldn't really be anything too serious. Sinner still played his 4th round match against Karen Khachanov, where he recovered from a set down to beat the 16th seed 5-7, 6-3, 6-3. It definitely still seems that Sinner's not really 100% as far as that hip issue goes, and he does not want to jeopardize his chances of going deep in his home 1000 in Rome, and ultimately, of course, Roland Garros. Jim Courier on Tennis Channel said that he spoke with Darren Cahill, one of Sinner's coaches, and that Sinner will travel back to Monte Carlo to see one of his doctors there where he lives, and then he'll hopefully resume training and travel to Rome on Monday, where he'll look to. Sinner did have lower expectations for his run in Madrid prior to the tournament due to the altitude, and I honestly don't think he cared as much about going deep here, so I'm not really concerned about this issue too much either. I am happy for Felix though, as he will now play his 3rd career 1000 semifinal and his first one since Paris 2022. The Canadian had been struggling with form a lot for the past year or so, but he has seemingly found his footing here on the dirt as he scored an impressive straight sets win over the informed Casper Ruud in the previous round, in the 4th round. FAA would now face the winner of Daniil Medvedev and Yuri Lehechka, who will play for the 2nd time. Medi won their round of 16 match at Wimbledon last year after Lehechka retired down 2 sets to love. This honestly is exciting to see because there's a lot of opportunity here for these players who really don't know who can take it. Any of these 5 players remaining, I think 5 players remaining, 5 players remaining can take this tournament. I can't believe I'm saying this too with Medvedev's earlier disdain for the Madrid conditions, but right now, I'd honestly favor him to take the title, although he might be hindered, especially considering that he'd have considerably less rest should he reach the semifinal compared to his other opponents. But still, I think that Medvedev's greater experience at the stage of being deep in a Masters 1000 can take him far and ultimately to the trophy here. Meanwhile, the women's semifinals are all set and our matchups are definitely not lacking in star power. Our first semifinal tomorrow will be between top-ranked Iga Swiatek and American Madison Keys. This would be the pair's 3rd meeting overall, and Iga leads the head-to-head 2-1, and this would be their 2nd meeting overall on clay, and their first came in 2021 at Rome in the 2nd round, where Iga defeated Madison 7-5, 6-1. They also played twice in 2022. First, Iga defeated Madison, I believe, in the quarterfinals of Indian Wells, winning that one 6-1, 6-love, before Maddie got revenge later that summer in Cincinnati, taking it 6-3, 6-4 in the round of 16. Both players went the distance in their quarterfinal matches, which were full of kooky momentum shifts. First, Iga defeated Beatriz Haddad Maia 4-6, 6-love, 6-2. The Pole led the Brazilian 4-1 in the opening set before Haddad Maia reeled off the next 5 games to close out the opener. Then Iga regained her form to win the last 12 of 14 games. Keys' comeback win over Ons Jabeur was even more impressive. She lost the first 8 games to the 2022 Madrid champ Jabeur, who she never even won a set against prior to this match. The American ultimately fought back for an impressive love 6, 7-5, 6-1 win. I think I favor Iga in this matchup, especially with this one being on clay, where the Pole is the more comfortable player on, and Madison won't have as many opportunities to really overpower Iga as much. But I think that if Keys plays like how she did against Jabeur for the last set and a half, she definitely has a shot here. The serve has got to be on, though, for the American for sure, and she needs to maintain that patiently aggressive brand of tennis because Iga will get a lot of balls back in play, especially with her being more in her defensive bag this tournament. Keys is also riding high on confidence, coming off 2 consecutive top 10 wins as she beat Coco Gauff in the 4th round too. I still think Iga on clay will be too tough for Keys though, and I predict a straight sets win for the Pole, like a cute 6-3, 7-5. Our second semifinal is even more enticing as Elena Rybakina and Aryna Sabalenka will square off for the first time on clay. Elena is playing on house money, to be honest, as she saved 2 match points down 2-5, 15-40 in the deciding set against compatriot Yulia Putintseva in the quarterfinal. Rybakina had never even beaten Putintseva before this match, and it looked like Yulia would go 3-0 over her compatriot, but Rybakina saved the first match point with a clutch drop winner that barely clipped the net, sliding, and then she erased the second one with an ace, and she ultimately won the last 5 games of the match to progress to her 6th WTA semifinal of the season. Sabalenka, meanwhile, earned a decisive 6-1, 6-4 win over Mirra Andreeva, the 17-year-old. I honestly did not expect this one to be so one-sided, but Big Lenka came to play today, as this was perhaps her best match from start to finish since Melbourne, where she won the title. Andreeva just did not have the weapons at all to really challenge the defending champion, and I said in my last video that, they played last year in the round of 16 here in Madrid, where Sabalenka won that one, I believe, 6-3, 6-1, and I said there's no way that this matchup here would be as decisive, but Sabalenka proved me wrong, and her game is definitely trending in the right direction, which is great to see, and I think that that comes from that solid performance against Danielle Collins, where she was able to turn it around and recover from a set and nearly almost a set and break down to end the Americans' 15-match win streak. Sabalenka leads the head-to-head with Rybakina 5-3, although Elena absolutely clobbered Aryna in their last meeting in this year's Brisbane final, winning that one 6-love, 6-3. Sabalenka won their last meeting before that one at the rain and wind-riddled 2023 WTA Finals. This will be, as I said earlier, their first meeting on the clay, and I'm surprised I'm saying this, but I favor Sabalenka here as far as form goes. I have been impressed with Sabalenka's form, as I mentioned just now, the previous few matches, and I think that match by match, she's been getting better and better. Rybakina, meanwhile, she did not look as good in that last match against Putintseva, although I do think the matchup against Yulia doesn't favor her as much, as the short Kazakh can definitely push Rybakina in different ways that certain opponents like a Sabalenka might not. So it'll be interesting too. I think that Rybakina might enjoy Sabalenka's game more compared to Putintseva, as she knows more what to expect. So it'll be interesting. I think Rybakina, though, has the confidence of being undefeated on the clay thus far this year, including notching a win over Iga Swiatek, the queen of clay at the moment. And then she's also on a 15-match win streak on the dirt, dating back to that Rome 2023 title. It's also important to remember that the number 2 ranking is on the line here in this matchup for Sabalenka, as if she wins this match, she'll retain the spot. But if she loses, Coco Gauff will overtake her and will ascend to that new career high. I'm picking Sabalenka in this one, and to win this one in 3 sets, more because of her solid form in that quarterfinal, but also Rybakina also revealed that she has been feeling tired lately in this tournament, and she complained that, you know, the change this year with making the combined 1000s, I believe, 2 weeks longer, she just does not like it. And she's not the only person who voiced complaints about that too. We can't forget also that Rybakina is pretty injury prone and is coming off the title in Stuttgart, where she won, I believe, 4 matches. So with all this tennis recently, I can totally foresee a drop in level from her, even though she has a little bit of a longer recovery time with the semifinal not going on until tomorrow night. That's it for my Madrid recap, and let me know in the comments how you feel about Sinner and Alcaraz's Rome and Roland Garros prospects in light of their recent injury concerns. Also, do you agree with me that we'll have a rematch of last year's Madrid final between Sabalenka and Swiatek? Make sure y'all subscribe to and click the notification bell so you're notified whenever I post more updates throughout the tournament. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video.